This question has a big function, a big fraction, a function that's a fraction, wants us to take the derivative. Let's bring it on down here. So the function is 4 minus x squared over 7 plus x squared. Okay, now what's the rule? If you have two functions, I'm not sure what that was about. Um, if you have two functions, it's something weird there. If you have two functions like added and you want to take the derivative, you can just do them separate, right? Just separate. Let's see if my pen's coming off. There we go. Separate, separately. You just take them separately. That's great. For adding or subtracting, you just do the derivative separate. No big deal. But if you have two functions multiplying and you do the derivative, remember, you can't just do the first one and do the second one, do them separate. That's not right. It's actually, they take turns. The first one goes, but the second one just sits there, regular G. And then the first one sits there, and then the second one goes. They take turns. That's called the product rule. That's how you do two functions multiply together. Okay, but in this case, we have two functions divided. What's the rule there? Well, it's almost like the product rule. They take turns. The first one goes, and then the second one goes, but you have a minus in the middle, and you divide by the second function, the denominator squared. All right, so that's what we have to do. So here comes the derivative. We have them divided. So I'm going to go, okay. Start with the top. You always start with the top. What's the derivative of the top? Well, let's make sure we're clear on this. If you have 4 minus x squared, you want to take the derivative. Derivative of 4 is just 0. And the derivative of this part, you bring down the 2. So it'll be minus 2 and subtract 1 from the power, minus 2x to the 1. So it's just minus 2x, right? So the derivative of that is minus 2x. So the first derivative. The second one just sits there. It doesn't do anything, right? So the derivative of the top, which is, oops, right there. Okay, and then minus, and then I'm gonna run out of room. Try this again. I'm running out of room. So yeah. All right, so again, one more time. The derivative of the top is just minus 2x times the bottom, the same. He doesn't do anything. Subtract, and then the top doesn't do anything, times the derivative of the bottom. What's the derivative of the bottom? Just 2x, because the 7 just goes to 0. It's just 2x. See, that was the bottom's term. Over the denominator squared, like that. And you could clean that up. They don't. See the answer here that it shows exactly what you could just leave it, just type it in just like that. You could, if you want to distribute and get like terms, you could do that. I'm just going to leave it. Since they did, I'll just leave it. Either way, it'll take it cleaned up or not cleaned up. It's all good. So that makes sense what we did. They take turns. The top goes first, the bottom just sits there, minus. Then the top just sits there, and then it's the bottom's turn. 2x over the denominator squared. That's called the quotient. I didn't write it. That's called the quotient rule because quotient means dividing, the dividing rule. And so there we go.